Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk to Alex Quanton with U.S. News and World Report about the best cars for the money. Plus, Jeff has his Motor Minute, and I'll review the all-new Polestar 4. What? Yes, all-new vehicle, all-new brand. It's all just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, coming to us today from Neederville, Texas, where it's 90 degrees. It's always hot over there. We always need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this turning in to be a chilly Saturday.
Yeah.
And just if you're listening, wherever you're listening around the world, we have a hard freeze warning.
Yeah.
In fact, that it's supposed to begin like at midnight tonight and go through Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hamburger today, Tuesday.
Tuesday. You know, the little fun fact on that, Oklahoma's getting hit pretty hard. Dallas is getting hit pretty hard. We heard that from Jack. Oklahoma has 35 snow removal trucks.
For the whole state?
For the whole state. Detroit, Michigan, New York, they have in the thousands.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit underhand. Yeah, I found something else out that if this storm goes through the panhandle of Florida, they're going to use margarita salt for the roads.
No.
Yeah.
They can't use that. Oh, hell.
Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't
Well,
so.
and you know, if you've ever said when hell freezes over, here's your chance.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Well, the getting's good.
Yeah, we were getting.
Do we have Alex?
Yes, sir.
We do. Alex Quanton, U.S. News and World Report. Best cars for the money. We love talking to you about this sort of stuff. So who is it that gets to decide, Alex, the best cars for the money? Who decides that?
Well, it's a combination of our individual car reviews and how we rank them, and also total cost of ownership over time. So 5-year total cost of ownership and the cost of the average transaction price. So it's a data-determined award. I mean, our preferences, we test a lot of cars. We test hundreds of cars a year. So our basic observations go into the baseline ranking, and then we cross-reference that with those two data points. So we want to, the goal of these awards is to provide a car that's affordable now, affordable over time, and which is also a good experience, because I think we all know, buy a cheap car and you hate it, that's not a good value.
And then you're stuck with it for either the remainder of the lease or, 12-year loan or whatever it is.
And it just gets worse and worse the longer you keep it because you hate it so much.
That's right. And I dealt with that not too long ago, about 3 years ago, with a friend of mine that had a Jaguar that could not get the thing fixed, costing thousands of dollars, even including with the stupid warranty that she bought. It was just awful. Finally got rid of that thing, and then got into another one that's not really on the popular list either, but at least it's not costing us as much money anymore.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention having to stick with things for a 12-year loan. So, this year, MSRPs were up this year. Obviously, sales increased a little bit, as you were just saying in the previous segment. That was because a lot of people sort of pushed forward their buying in the first half of the year, thinking, well, things might get more expensive due to shifts in trade policies. So, also we're noticing that people are taking out longer and longer loans to make those payments go down, just keep those monthly payments. Well, like 7-year loans are like a 20% part of the mix now, which is really a little unsettling. So the goal with best cars for the money is to, give people a baseline of vehicles that we understand are good vehicles, that they're affordable now. So if you guys want to talk about the winners, the big winner here is Kia. They won 7 of these awards this year, which is like a really big achievement. I think we all know that if you look at a Kia now and you think back to like Kias in like 2007, 2008, you're like, wow, is that really the same brand at all? They've made a huge investment in technology and style and in electrification. There's gas Kias, there's hybrid Kias on this list, there's plug-in hybrid Kias on this list, and there's an electric Kia on this list. So,
do you remember when the Kias came out and how ugly they were? We all thought that they were really ugly and funky looking.
I remember the first Kias when they were selling only on the West Coast, like in the mid 90s, and they were really, really basic. And I think if you look back in that now and you think, how on earth? But, they have really put a huge effort into improving the product, and it really shows. And I'll say, like, I've driven most of these cars, and the last one that I drove was the Kia Niro, which is our best subcompact SUV for the money this year. I drove that about a month ago. And, oftentimes, as you guys know, you get loans from manufacturers and they give you the top trim with all the stuff.
Right.
We actually decided we would try to sample a base model, which was what we did. And, the base model Kia Niro, it's a subcompact hybrid SUV, so it's pretty small. But I am 6'4", and I can fit in the back just fine with the front seat adjusted for me. I got 50 miles per gallon out of it. It looks pretty good. It's not exciting drive, but it's not bad to drive either. And it has a 10-year powertrain warranty, and like even with the most basic features on it, like the car I had only floor mats and roof rails. Those were the only options. So under 30K, I think maybe even under 29K out the door. And for that, like, it's just a fantastic little vehicle. And I feel like, I'm not sure that would have been possible for them 30 years ago, but they've really upped their game. If you haven't tried one, you should.
Well, I have to tell you that, yes, and you're correct. With most of the vehicles that we get, at least are mid-trim level, if not full trim level. And those cars go down the same assembly line as the base model. And it's truly amazing that when I do get something that's close to a base model, it ain't that bad. The problem is finding them on a dealer lot, because those are the ones that seem to go first, and they don't want to stock them because they don't make as much money off of them.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks would rather stock the mid-grade and high trim just because there's more money in it. But like even some of these vehicles, even like the Kia K4 is our best compact car for the money for 2026. That starts at like 22.4 or something like that, and even the top sedan with the turbo, I drove that in Austin about a year and a half ago. Even that is out the door under 30K, and they just added the Kia K4 hatchback. The big media push is happening right now for that. And the K4 hatchback only comes in like the top trims, so you can get it with the turbo or the fancier stuff, but even that's really affordable. And we had three good contenders with compact car. We had the K4 and the Civic and the Corolla. And the Civic is a great vehicle, and someone was asking me, I bought my Civic and I love it, and I love the Civic too, but it does cost a little bit more than the K4 out the door, and the warranty isn't as long. So like you really can get a good deal if you're willing to just shop for a little while. But you're right, base models are hard to find, and we would like it if automakers focused a little bit more on affordability, and all the automakers on this list have done exactly that.
Well, and that seems to be a big growing trend bubbling up underneath the surface, that they're realizing that the cost of vehicles has gotten out of touch with reality. Used car sales are going up because they're cheaper to buy, and you get typically, if you're looking for it, much more in a trim level for the same amount of money. Granted, the warranty generally isn't there, but I think that the manufacturers are going, hey, we got this car. Let's back off of some of these trim levels and see if we can't get more of these cars in customers' hands just because of the price alone.
Yeah, I mean, people are really clamoring for affordability, and part of it is that some manufacturers have just abandoned like small cars. There's no domestic small cars anymore, and there are a couple of domestic small crossovers, like the Chevy Trax is one of our nominees for best subcompact SUV. I think it's one of the runners up. The Nissan Kicks is the winner there. But like a lot of manufacturers, like, well, I'm not going to continue building these smaller, more affordable models, and now people are like, where are they? And we're sort of stuck in like a used car hangover from the last 5 years.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like most of the time, when someone's like, I really can't afford a new car, what do you recommend? I say, buy a certified pre-owned car. I've bought certified pre-owned cars in the past. In fact, I have a certified pre-owned Buick in my driveway with my other cars.
There you go.
And, but the problem is that CPO cars are in relatively short supply, so the price difference sometimes isn't really that much between that and a new vehicle, and people are like, well, what do I do now? I'm stretched and everything's expensive.
Yeah.
You talked about how these awards are given out and the numbers of the vehicles that are purchased. Are there certain pockets of the country that are buying more of these? Like, is it more of the West Coast? Is it more of the Southeast? I mean, can you actually look at that data and say, okay, the Kias are purchased more in this particular part of the country versus another part?
Most of the mainstream vehicles, most of the gas-powered and hybrid vehicles, the sales numbers are pretty uniform. I would say that, Kia maybe has more penetration in urban areas than the deeply rural areas, but, there's also fewer buyers in very rural areas. So it's really mostly the electrics where we see more regional kind of things going on. So we have two electrics on this list. The Chevy Equinox EV is the best compact electric SUV for the money this year, and the Kia EV9 is the best midsize electric SUV for the year. And you might be wondering, why did we break them up into sizes? And that's basically because, in years past, we would have like one best electric SUV or one best hybrid SUV, and there's a lot of electric SUVs and hybrid SUVs now, and not everybody's life is going to fit in a Kia Niro. Right. Back to the EVs, like I live in Seattle. I'm in Washington, D.C. today, and I'm a little envious of your cold snap in Texas because it's 17 degrees here. But in Seattle, like the nearest cities are like Portland, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Spokane. Spokane is like 6.5 hours drive, and beyond that, you're probably going to fly because anything else is more than a day. And so in Seattle, like most people are not driving more than 300 miles at a clip. And an EV works perfectly well. It's temperate most of the year. The electricity is cheap, but it's not like that in other places. So like in New Hampshire or Montana, the case for it is much less. So I think, those are great values and they're great cars for the money. We were particularly surprised at the Chevy Equinox EV. That beat out like the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and, little heavy hitters. But the appeal of those vehicles is a little more niche just because not everybody can live with them. And, in some places it's easier to have an electric, in other places it's harder.
Well, one of the things that I think is really indicative of the cost of cars these days is the average price. Now, average meaning across the board, average $50,000 for a new vehicle. If you can find something for 30, you're doing good.
Yeah, the ATPs crested 50 in September of last year. Now they've come down a little. Like I think this in December we saw some softening, so it's just under 50 now. But most of the analysts, J.P. Morgan and Cox Automotive, I think Cox Automotive predicted that MSRPs would rise 4 to 8% in 2026, which is like they're already high. So all of these vehicles are, and you can find the whole list at cars.usnews.com. They're all meant to be like, here's something you can actually really buy now that isn't going to come anywhere near that price. Or if it's a larger vehicle, and we did include some larger vehicles, and I'll get to that in a second, it's at least a very good value for what it is. So I wanted to just add, like, there's two really huge vehicles on this list. So Ford won the best large SUV category for the money with the Expedition, and they also won the best full-size truck for the money. And, some people were asking me at the DC Auto Show, I'm in town for the DC Auto Show where we gave out these awards. They were saying, oh, well, the Expedition costs like $62,000. How can it be like, affordable? But, there are some people who actually need an SUV like that. And relative to the other ones, it has a lower total cost of ownership. Ford has sort of reworked the trims on the Expedition to make the affordable ones more affordable. And we really felt that it was the best vehicle for the money there. The Chevy Suburban is close behind. But, and the Ford F-150, if you need a full-size truck, you need a full-size truck, right? And a lot of people want a full-size truck, and full-size trucks are probably the area where the price can inflate the most over that base price, and F-150s are super configurable, but Ford doesn't like skimp on the basic models anymore. Like even the base models have pretty good infotainment, and even if you buy like an STX, you can get the Lobo package and stuff. So it's a really good value for the money, and I think Toyota Tundra was second there. It's a hybrid, so you're saving money there, and F-150 also offers a hybrid. So the whole point of this is to provide people with a good guide for like, hey, this is actually going to be a good value for your dollar.
Name some of the other ones, like for instance, the mid-size SUV. Where did you guys come out with that?
Yeah, so the mid-size SUVs, we kind of broke it up into 2-row and 3-row because some people don't want the third. They're like, I'm never going to use that. I don't want it. Please don't give it to me. And other people are like, I need it, but I only need it like every now and then. So the Kia Sorento is our best 3-row midsize SUV, and you might be surprised because the Sorento is fairly small for a 3-row SUV.
Yeah.
But most of the time, people are buying that third row for occasional use, and like the Sorento has a really low price point relative to the other entries in that class. I would not fit comfortably in that third row. If I was going to buy a third row that I actually wanted to sit in, I'd probably buy something larger than that. But if you're just like picking up kids from soccer practice, or you have occasional, like, a couple kids in the car occasionally, like that's actually a pretty good vehicle that'll save you money over time. It gets better fuel mileage than a lot of other 3-row SUVs, and it's just more affordable. The best 2-row SUV was the Nissan Murano. Best 2-row SUV for the money. It beat out the Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, which is another unsung vehicle that probably deserves more attention. Looks like an Audi Q8, doesn't quite drive like one, but it's a pretty good vehicle. But we thought the Murano was best, because the costs were lower. So like the total cost of ownership is lower, the MSRP is lower, it's pretty roomy, and it's also super stylish, which is a kind of other value add. It comes with a lot of safety features, so all the Nissan like adaptive cruise control and things like that are in there, and it's just a really good package for the money. The Murano and the Kicks, which are both on this list, were redesigned just last year, so they're new and fresh, and I don't think we could go wrong with one of those purchases.
Yeah, coming out strong.
Yeah. Do we have to have a subscription to U.S. News and World Report to get this information?
You do not. Just come to cars.usnews.com. You can find all the winners there, and you can do all your car shopping research there. You can spec out a car on our site. You can get in touch with a dealer. There's all kinds of things you can do on our site. We, on the editorial side, we just give you the research you need. We've driven most of the cars, and most of the time, I think most automotive outlets are like, they're about like, it says 60 in 5.8 seconds, and it's super fast. We're more about like, hey, can you actually buy this for the money, and is it good for the money? And these are one of our premier awards for that reason.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't last for your need. Yeah.
And one of the other things I'm just going to throw in there is that all the dealers that I know of are stocked full of all sorts of vehicles. Chances are you're going to be able to find a good brand new vehicle on the lot wherever you are.
Yeah, this is a good time too. It's like sort of like post-Christmas, hangover, and we also do deals things, so you can research like what the latest manufacturer offerings or incentives are on the site. So cars.usnews.com.
Alex, you're our guy.
Are you coming to Houston next week for our show?
Unfortunately, I'm not, although I do really like regional auto shows, because you can, if you're just a regular consumer, a regional auto show is a great place to like go check out a car, sit in it, maybe even get like a test loop drive without having to go.
Right.
A lot of people
Houston Auto Show opens Thursday and runs through next Sunday. Alex, great to talk to you. We really appreciate you, and let's talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Alex Quanten, U.S. News and World Report. Just ahead, Jeff's Motor Minute and a review of the new Polestar 4.
All right.
Yep, I got to drive one. I'll tell you all about it. Cool. When the In Real Time Car Talk Show continues right after this.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good.
Make a splash. Live the dream. It all happens at the Houston Automotive Show at NRG Center. Check out classic autos to today's cars and trucks. Experience off-road adventures with Polaris, Ram, and Camp Jeep. Explore 5 acres of the newest sport boats, fishing boats, and much more. It's all here, from the open road to the open water. If it thrills you, you'll find fun for the whole family. Get your tickets now. The Houston Automotive Show, making waves and fueling adventure.
I invite you to join us for the live in-wheel time car talk show every Saturday, usually 10 to noon Central Time on inwheeltime.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Next weekend, 9 to noon. Why? Because we are going to be live from the Houston Automotive Show that you just heard, and we'll be doing our broadcast from there. Come and find us. Do we know where we're going to be yet, Mr. Mars, inside the show?
I think we're going to be about the same place we have been, from what I gather from Rochelle.
Okay.
They still start their layout. They just started their layout Friday. So they'll be moving in.
Somebody knows where we're going to be, but we don't.
Yeah. We should be there, right there by the Ram and the Jeep track and the Ram display.
I suspect tomorrow and Monday they're not going to be doing very much, if anything. They're probably going to be thrashing on Tuesday. They're probably going to be really humping it to get that.
Yeah, because if they try and move in on Monday, it's going to be got to get the cars over there, get them cleaned up, get it moved in on the carpet. It's going to be a mess.
Stay off the roads. Nobody's going to be on the road.
Yeah. All right, time now for the Motor Minute, Jeffrey.
We teased this earlier about the Buick, and I was getting some advertisements through Facebook and all that about my Buick, about my Envision, and how you can get the 2026 and it's like 10 grand more than what I paid for it. I'm thinking, why is this? And then boom, this article comes out that GM is moving the Buick Envision, which my vehicle is built in China. They're moving it here to the U.S. Yeah. So GM will build the third generation Buick Envision in America. It will be built alongside the Chevrolet Equinox at the Fairfax Assembly Plant.
Fairfax, Virginia?
Fairfax, Kansas City, Fairfax Assembly.
All right.
Production will begin in 28, and it's the demise of the Bolt. So they're taking the Bolt off because it's running on the same line. The Chinese-built Buick Envision got slammed by Trump's tariffs, and the company recently hiked the prices by $3 grand, which was a little low, but they're more. This followed an earlier increase, which means the cost entry shot up to $4,500 in less than a year, more money. As a result, the 2026 Envision now starts at $41,000 and the $1,995 destination fee. Pretty steep, and the price increases appear to have started weighing in on sales. No kidding. They were down 11.4% last year to 41,000 units. In the fourth quarter, sales plummeted 60%, almost 61%. Even with the steep decline, the Envision finished the year as Buick's third best-selling vehicle. Thank you.
I like your car.
I do too. I love my car. It's perfect for me. So they announced this. The EV was just relaunched. The Bolt was just relaunched, but now they're going to take it away. A Fairfax assembly plant will be retooled to build the Chevrolet Equinox starting in 27. This suggests that the Bolt will only be sticking around for about another year. So they're getting rid of the Chevy Bolt out of that plant. I don't know if they're going to be building it in another plant or not, but out of that plant, they're going to replace it with the Buick Envision. And I appreciate that. The car styling is good. All the styling cues I like. A couple of minor things in the interior where things go, like your vents, your vent location and stuff, could be a little bit better. But I love the car. I get 32 miles to the gallon.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah.
I have to figure out how I'm going to tub it out, though.
My God. Do you people know what that means?
Some don't. I do.
Well, we do, yes.
I think the bigger problem would be getting the LS in.
The LS, yeah. Well, there is that.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the all-new 2026 Polestar 4 dual motor. Now, let me go back here just for a moment, because when Polestar began a few years ago, it was under the Volvo umbrella. Well, that ended a long time ago, and I was not aware of that because I had to do my research. Who builds the Polestar? It's a company called Geely Motors, Geely, Geely Motors, China. It comes in several versions, the Polestar 2, 3, and 4. I had the 4 that had dual motors. You can get it with a single motor because it's all electric. Standard electric SUV is what the government calls it. Seats including a driver, 5. Built in South Korea with 96% Chinese parts. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Maybe they just needed another assembly plant. Hey, we've got one open over here in South Korea, so we'll build it over here. But 96% Chinese parts. Can you tell the difference? I can't tell the difference. And so, whatever. It's all new. Exterior features. There's no rear window. What?
That's coming.
No, there's no rear window. If you want to look out the back, got a back camera back there. Um, it, it, it sounds like it's weird looking, but from the back, if you're looking at the vehicle from the back, it doesn't look weird. How they did that paint and the way that they've got, there's a good picture of it right there. It looks like it's got a rear window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. So forget that. Split headlights, horizontal split in the headlights, interesting and cool. Stylish horizontal taillights that kind of go along with the headlights. It does have a glass roof and there is no shade. Now, obviously, I drove it a couple of weeks ago and the weather was just fine. And I got a little tip of the fact that I parked it for about an hour, total sunshine, and I got in and it was a little warm in there. Well, because it was turned off, okay? If you turn it on, it's got one of those roofs that dims. It has, that when it sees the sunlight, when it's running, it dims. It kind of like a tint is on it. It's really cool. Now, how it works like that, I don't know, but I drove it basically in the early morning and after the sun went down. So that's something that you might want to consider, especially here in Houston, Texas, where we are. It could be a problem without a kind of shade up there. Again, what could use improvement? Shade for the glass roof. Interior highlights. 15.4-inch center display.
Oh, wow.
You know how big that is? That's huge.
15.4 inches.
Yes. It has a Scandinavian style minimalist design. And you'll have to do the research on it because where you would normally have knobs and buttons and that sort of stuff, no, you got to go to the screen.
Knobs?
Knobs. It could be knobs, sure. Awesome materials throughout. It's well laid out. It's really kind of cool if you get into it. But you know, I know that I'm an older guy and I kind of like some knobs for certain things like volume on the radio.
You're coming back.
Yeah, well, and that's the new thing is they realized that, not everybody's all into that. Cargo trunk room, small with the rear seats up, as you can imagine. What I like about it, it's cool environment inside when you get in it. But it could use improvement. Again, some buttons to control often used features. The problem here lies that eyes have to go off the road to locate the functions via a screen. And think about that. I think that you'll agree with me. For many of the functions, it's really not necessary other than to clean up the dashboard. Engine, dual electric motors that turn out 544 horsepower and 506 pound-feet of torque. Transmission, none. Direct drive. Range, 310 miles. Tell you about more of that in just a second. Miles per gallon range in the city, 90. Highway, 80. For a combined of 85 miles per gallon E.
Wow.
I don't know how many miles, but I did have to stop and put a DC charge on it that cost me $35 and took almost an hour out of my day. That's a problem for me personally. What could use improvement? A level 2 charger in my garage would be nice. So next time you send me one of those down to drive, please install that charger in the garage. Make it a lot easier for me. Ride and handling, nice ride, although like other electrics, it felt heavy. What could use improvement? I don't know. Rode pretty good, I guess, overall. Base trim price, $62,900. Prices tested, $67,400. You can get in one of these for a base model price of $56,400.
Wow.
Competitors, Hyundai Ioniq 9 SUV for $58,953. Hyundai Ioniq 6 sedan, $37,850. And the Tesla Model Y SUV starts at $44,990. So it does have competition. Next week, I'll review the Toyota Supra with 400 horsepower through that BMW straight six in it. Woo! You like cars, race cars with a license plate on the back of it? Here is your ticket.
Go-kart.
Yeah. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back after this quick break.
You own a car you love. The Tex-Mex dining experience is The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flameado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good.
Make a splash. Live the dream. It all happens at the Houston Automotive Show at NRG Center. Check out classic autos to today's cars and trucks. Experience off-road adventures with Polaris, Ram, and Camp Jeep. Explore 5 acres of the newest sport boats, fishing boats, and much more. It's all here, from the open road to the open water. If it thrills you, you'll find fun for the whole family. Get your tickets now. The Houston Automotive Show, making waves and fueling adventure.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.